Hey everybody, Koricon here, and this is my review of Kingsman, The Golden Circle. I got to see it today, directed by Matthew Vaughn, with Taron Egerton as Eggsy, and Mark Strong is in it, along with Colin Firth is back, and our new villain, Julianne Moore. We also have some statesmen that are on the U.S. side, led by Jeff Bridges. Also has Channing Tatum in there, Pedro Pascal, Halle Berry, and full cast. Now, I'm a big fan of the original movie. I liked the first movie a lot. It was a surprise hit, came out of nowhere. No one was expecting it. Just boom, here's a good movie. I was like, wow, that was actually really good. I loved that movie. So I was really excited for this one. I wanted to see it badly. It's one of my anticipated films of the year. And I gotta say, it was okay. I had a lot of fun at the movie. I enjoyed myself, but it fell victim to a sequel disease that I like to call mo money-itis. It had more money, and so they tried to spend it in ways that they didn't need to. You could have kept the budget smaller, just like the first movie. In the first movie, the action sequences they're over the top, but they had an element of realism in the martial arts that they used. In this movie, they tried to use a lot of CG to put a lot of cuts together and make it look like a seamless one camera motion, which works okay if you're using a minimal amount of edits. So, like if you have 3 edits and you use CG to bring those 2 clips, those 3 clips together during those 2 edit points, then it works. But they were using it a lot. Like you could tell, like in the car fight sequence in the beginning, the action sequence there, that they must have had a good 30 to 40 cuts going on and trying to integrate all of them, and the CG was a little jumpy because of that. So I think they should have brought that down and had a much better fight sequence going on where they held the camera still. You could still move it around the car, but you don't have to do it that much. And they fell victim to that in future action sequences as well. So the action wasn't quite to par. However, it wasn't as distracting as a lot of other movies that do the SCQ, shaky cam close-ups and quick cuts, which will kill any action sequence. Now, they did have some shaky cam in there, but it wasn't too bad. You could still tell what was going on. The CG was a little jumpy, so the jump cuts, there were too many of those. And close-ups, not as many. There were a good number of close-ups, but the majority of the time the camera was pulled back so you could see both people in frame, which was good. And the intercuts that they did with the close-ups weren't too bad, but I didn't think they were necessary. So you could have taken out those close-ups and it would have been a much smoother action sequence. The movie was a lot of fun. I mean, it is a fantasy kind of satire on James Bond. A lot of humor. I think the humor was more on point in the first movie than this one. It seemed like they were trying a little too hard with some of the humor to kind of match the tone of the first movie instead of making it a more natural flow of humor. The villain, though, Julianne Moore did a really good job with the character they gave her. I liked her character. I thought she was a good villain and a great over-the-top, James Bond satire-ish villain, where she's got a huge grand plan. She's got her own secret base. She's got a quirky personality, and she's got a henchman with a unique ability. Like Oddjob had the hat that could cut things. This guy's got a robotic arm that can throw the hand and do a bunch of other stuff. So I liked all of that. However, there were aspects of her storyline that were just kind of okay. She felt very disconnected from the rest of the film. She wasn't integrated with the story very well. And the story overall had too much stuff going on. There were aspects of like Channing Tatum was basically not utilized at all. They had him more in the trailer than they did the movie. Pretty much everything you see him do in the trailer is what he does in the movie. And if you're going to get a big name like that, I mean, Channing Tatum is not the best actor in the world. However, he is a popular name and he's got a strong fan base. If you're going to pay the money to put him in the movie, utilize him. And there was really it wasn't necessary to take him out of the movie for the portion that they did in the middle. You didn't need to do that because the aspects of what was going on, they did that with other characters. And that was your emotional connection to what was going on. Everyone else did a great job acting their characters. Taron Egerton, he has a few emotional scenes that he pulls off very well and they work in the film. So does Mark Strong, Colin Firth. I mean, they all did a very good job with what they had. I just think the story was lacking. The action scenes were lacking. But overall, I still had a lot of fun watching the movie. So it was shot very well. Cinematography looked great. Location shots looked awesome. Very well focused. A lot of good stuff in the background. But, a lot of things that made it falter. Overall, I'm going to give this movie a grade of a B-. Yeah, like I said, I had a lot of fun in the movie. I would watch it again. I would hope if they do a third movie that they kind of bring it down a little bit. You don't need all that CGI. They make the action sequences more like the first movie and just go a little bit over the top, but not that extreme. At least it wasn't too distracting. You could tell what was going on. But comment below and let me know your thoughts on this movie. What did you like? What did you not like? What grade would you give it? And how do you think it compares to the first movie? Does it make you want a third one, or are you done with the series? I still would want a third movie. I would be curious in a third movie. I just hope they do it better. If you're on Vidme, upvote this. Give me a follow and share it around. And if you're on YouTube, like, share, subscribe. Tell your friends. And I will see you on the next video.